An Are You Afraid of the Dark episode that features Gilbert Gottfried as an over-the-top, cranky DJ.
Do not knock on the window! Do not!
And Ryan Gosling as a smooth, cheeky 15-year-old. The tale of Station 109.1 is really great because of these two characters. It's a story that's told by Stidge, who's the new kid in this midnight society, still trying to prove to them that he should be accepted, since it has to be a unanimous decision to let him in to this group. We get to see some awesome 90s boomboxes. Stidge brings everybody a radio and tells them to tune to their favorite stations, and you just get a static of ridiculous noise. But it's great to see this old technology that really doesn't exist anymore. Even at places like Goodwill, it seems like they don't sell boomboxes anymore. So he throws dust on the campfire and begins to tell the story. And our main character is this guy, Chris Leary. He has an obsession with death, and he dresses in all black. But overall, he's an average kid. This isn't supposed to be like some kind of bad boy or some goth kid. Actually, would have made a little more sense. It would have separated him more from the other character, played by Ryan Gosling, Jamie Leary, who's a prankster and also suave. And you can see, even at this young age of 15, Ryan Gosling really does have an impressive presence. He is winking and nodding at the camera every second he can get. He knows in 10 years he's going to be in the Notebook and become the ideal man of every girl in existence. And we get a case of mistaken identity. Jamie plays a prank on Chris, has him sit in this hearse, and then hooks the hearse up to a battery and starts turning on the radio station, pretending like there's a ghost in this hearse. And well, there is a ghost in this hearse. Chris gets transported into the Are You Afraid of the Dark equivalent of Purgatory. We also get to see the first appearance of this thing called the Internet. Yes, the very place that you're watching this review, whether it's on your computer, your TV, or your phone. Seems like for my videos, it's 1/3 each. 1/3 phones, 1/3 TVs, 1/3 actual computers. But it is cool seeing them incorporate this. Chris is trying to look up the station of 109.1, finds that it doesn't exist. He gets transported to this purgatory world, and we get to meet Gilbert Gottfried, who is the proverbial Grim Reaper. He's the guy who keeps the records and sends people off into heaven, and I assume hell as well. Though we don't get to see hell. They don't really want to be hitting at those themes too heavily. And I gotta say, Gilbert Gottfried is hilarious. Rarely do they have comedy episodes, but this definitely qualifies. He's screeching and squawking. This was only 3 years after his amazing performance as the parrot in Aladdin. He of course did stand-up comedy and was a member of SNL. Gilbert Gottfried, the Grim Reaper himself, is under the impression that Chris's time is up, and he has to go to the other side. Chris tries to explain that this is a case of mistaken identity. There's a old guy who has the exact same name as him, and he's the one that's supposed to cross over to the other side. Apparently they do this by putting a bracelet on your wrist that then turns you into a ghost. But Gilbert Gottfried reminds him that he's never wrong. He always gets the names right. And there's something very convincing when he talks. He speaks with such precision. He's so loud and confident. He has to be right. This purgatory station is Station 109.1. It's a crossover station where they process the people and then send them into their final destination. His friend Jamie is able to save him at the end as these doors open, and Gilbert Gottfried tells him to go into the light. And we see the real Chris, the old man Chris, cross over into the other side. So overall, I think this episode is good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It would get a lower score if it didn't have Ryan Gosling or Gilbert Gottfried, but it does. The two most famous actors we've had so far are both in the same episode. There are some moments where they try to be a bit spooky. There's some figures that are dressed as in all black monk robes that grab the kids and force them to go into the afterlife. But when you have the main antagonist as Gilbert Gottfried playing himself, it just immediately turns it into a comedy episode. Even if they tried to make this thing scarier, having him squeal and squawk and tell everyone that he has everything correct immediately turns it into a comedy. And for that reason alone, it's worth watching. It's actually interesting looking at Ryan Gosling's IMDb. He hasn't been in that many things. He has 49 credits and he's been acting since he was 15 years old. This was his first acting credit, and right after this, in 96, he would go on to be in the Goosebumps episodes Say Cheese and Die, a series that I'm going to cover after I finish Are You Afraid of the Dark. I don't want to do two kid shows at the same time. But Ryan Gosling really just chose great roles for himself. Rather than starring in a bunch of B movies, him or his manager chose movies that would really elevate him. He was Alan Bosley in Remember the Titans in 2000. Of course, Noah in The Notebook, 2004, acting alongside Rachel McAdams, and more recently in the Barbie movie as Ken. And he's just one of those guys you can't help but like. You're jealous of him, you want to be like him, but he also seems pretty cool. And we have some fun facts right at the top. It says Stitch's last story. He tells two stories. He gets into the Midnight Society. They accept him in after he tells this story, but he doesn't tell anymore. So, completely pointless. There's a funny scene at the end where Stitch tries to hug Sam, and she's completely disgusted and pushes him away.
Ew! Come on, give us a hug. No way.
In fact, Stitch's very presence makes all three girls run away. It also says this was actor Ryan Gosling's first time portraying a fictional role in a TV show or movie after he had already appeared as himself in the all-new Mickey Mouse Club. Oh, was that with Britney Spears? And DJ McHale mentions that he wanted Ryan Gosling to portray a member of the Midnight Society, but he turned it down to be the new Mickey Mouse Club. And the bracelets that they use to get them to pass on to the other side are these cheap slap bracelets, which I do remember seeing as a kid. It would look like a small ruler, and then you would just hit it on your wrist and it immediately wrap itself around. And it looks like they didn't even do anything to change them and make them look more spooky. Well, the next episode does not feature Gilbert Gottfried or Ryan Gosling. It's the Tale of the Mystical Mirror. And we are almost done with the original run of this series.